Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
And welcome to the Kulturecast. I'm Chris Stachiw, and I am joined by two people who I think this is like the holy grail of our podcasting experience together. I am joined by none other than the host of the Projection Booth podcast, Mr. Mike White.
You have chosen wisely.
And we are also joined by my good friend, Mrs. Heather Dray.
Well, hello, everybody.
So, before we get into the movie, I feel like we need to talk about this kind of running gag that's been running for, 3 years now? Something like that? I don't remember which podcast it was on specifically.
It was Projection Booth.
Oh, no, I know it was Projection Booth, but I don't remember which episode. I think it may have been the first episode we were on together.
It was Celine and Julie Go Boating.
Yeah, it was very appropriate for Celine and Julie Go Boating.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm sure we entered the prayer books of many a Rivette fan for our Seagal commentary.
But I don't remember what incited it, but we got on the topic of Steven Seagal eating corn dogs, and his love of the consumption of deep fried wieners, and it would transition into it kind of coming up anytime the three of us got together to do a podcast on the Projection Booth. Finally got Heather on an episode of the Kulturecast earlier this year. Of course, we mentioned it then. So here we are now is the culmination of everything. We're talking about a Steven Seagal film. His, I would say, last theatrical film that mattered before the kind of weird outliers of Exit Wounds and I forget the name of the other one. It probably doesn't matter, but it's a Steven Seagal movie and it came out in theaters and you probably didn't see it either any more than most people did. Half Past Dead. But we're here to talk about Fire Down Below.
Beneath the gently rolling hills of Appalachia, a deadly secret burns.
I got 50,000 barrels of cyanide rolling down there right now.
Protected by the silence of a town living in fear.
Young'uns are dying. People down here don't take to strangers. They do a hard day's work, go to church on Sunday, that's it. We have a special visitor to our community.
Now, an outsider has come into their world.
You really are new here.
Gotta stand out a little bit, do I?
To reveal the danger.
What's this smoke over here in the mountains?
Oh, they've been burning that mountain for 12 and a half years.
Protect the innocent.
You look prettier than a speckled pup.
That's just what I was gonna say.
And expose the conspiracy.
I made $16 million on this deal. You think I'm giving it back?
One of these days you'll say, the money ain't worth what's gonna do to my people.
You need to be careful about slinking around here.
Somebody gonna get hurt.
It's gonna get a little hot around here.
Who are you?
I'm a federal agent.
It has to look like an accident. A big accident.
Your flame with the country girl is over.
I was gonna go take care of Hannah.
Cupping.
Come back here and get you.
Do you have any help? Because without it, you could be searching for years.
We don't have years.
I want the mine sealed, and I want Taggart buried inside it.
Tell your boss I'm coming to get him.
Steven Seagal turns up the heat.
You know, on second thought, I'll tell him.
Fire down below.
So the film is directed by Felix Enriquez Alcala. It stars none other than our good friend, Mr. Seagal, and a bunch of country western singers. Along with Marg Helgenberger's in there, Harry Dean Stanton's in there, Stephen Lang is in there. Let's just say Steven Seagal constantly is surrounded by people who are much more talented than he is. Almost all the time.
Where was Bob Seger? You know, the whole time I keep thinking, title track, Fire Down Below by Bob Seger. He's the only person who doesn't show up in this movie.
And where's Garth Brooks? You have all these country western singers, and yet you don't have, like, the quote-unquote big ones of the 90s. I mean, I guess Travis Tritt.
I'm about to say Travis in the 90s.
Where's Dwight? Where's Dwight Yoakam?
Dwight Yoakam, yeah. He was already doing, like, his whole indie thing. He was waiting for the next Crank movie to come out, you know.
Yeah. He was in Panic Room.
To answer Mike's question, the rumor on the street is that Seeger was too busy working on some night moves.
Nice.
Wow.
I hate myself.
Jesus Christ. You hate yourself, but I'm astounded.
Oh,
Simply stunning.
It's just time
Especially
because
I hate that song.
Yeah.
I mean, who likes that song?
They exist.
Boy, don't they? Probably like the same people that exist that like this film. So, Heather, what did you think of Fire Down Below?
Well, I have to say, because before watching this film, this was my first time watching it in preparation for this episode. The last Seagal film I had seen was a direct-to-video effort, I believe called something like At Darkness, something involving the word darkness, and it was his vampire movie.
Oh, good Lord.
And, yeah, it trust me, it's whatever you're picturing is going to be way better than that film. That film was... It was dark, because literally, I don't know if it was to cover Seagal's, like, you know, as most people do when they get older, like, he's gained some weight. I'm not body shaming. There's no shame in that. The body changes. But to cover it up, it's like you'd only see his head in the fight scenes and, like, a blur of arms. And it's like, so it's almost like you have this disembodied, like, beefy head of Steven Seagal fighting vampires, and it was awful. So comparatively, Fire Down Below was pretty good. It was I thought it was entertaining. It's got a great, as you mentioned, the supporting cast. We forgot to mention Levon Helm. Talking about musicians being in it. Levon Helm from the band, and
Mark Colley, who's in The Punisher.
Right. Levon Helm, by the way, is one of the patron saints of Arkansas, because local Arkansans love them some Levon Helm. Like, when he died, it was like, you could not go in a grocery store without hearing people talk about, did you hear about Levon? Like that.
I've only heard that Levon likes his money.
But did he die in real life in a burned down church off screen?
Nah, it was throat cancer. Not nearly, yeah. It's
the
much
one
more...
thing Steven Seagal can't fight.
Was I the only one hoping that there was going to be a subplot involving, like, a Norwegian black metal band? And you find out that they're the ones that set fire to...
Deep cut, Heather. Deep cut.
It's like, oh, great. So now we got these corrupt millionaires dumping toxins into the rural Kentucky waters, and now we have Varj Vikernes. The
Borzum, yo. Give me a little bit of that Borzum.
And it's like, oh, consarn it. Now we have a racist neo-Nazi musician who burns down churches.
I mean, that may have been more interesting than what we got, to be fair.
Yeah, of course, I don't know if I want to hear Steven Seagal, join in on guitar work for anything by Mayhem.
So, Mr. White, I know that this film is probably in your rotating collection of top 5 favorites. So, what do you think of Fire Down Below?
Well, I became a little obsessed with this movie when I was watching it, and just that bizarre opening that this film has, and I had to go and track down a version of the script. Unfortunately, the script I don't think is very close to what we ended up with.
Not at all.
Yeah. That was Jeb Stewart, and I think the script was from like 89, so it took, what would that be, 8 years for this to come to the screen? And definitely changed, because I love Richard Mazer. I really like him a lot, and so when he shows up just like in a little thought bubble that Seagal has in like this weird flashback thing that he's doing as he's driving or flying his plane into this Appalachian village, I'm just like...
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondersight comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wonderside's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wonderside.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.
Friends, it's Grego. Join me and hundreds of motorcyclists for the Christus Foundation for Healthcare's 21st Annual Nun Run, happening Saturday, October 11th, presented by Stellar Bank. This Blue Knights police-escorted ride raises funds for Christus school clinics, which provide essential healthcare services to students in some of Houston's most underserved neighborhoods. We'll start at the Villa de Mattel in Houston's East End and cruise down to Topwater Grill in San Leon for a finish line party. Register now at ChristusFoundation.org and get ready to ride. Saturday, October 11th.
What the hell's going on? What's happening? So I was just so confused by this movie right from the beginning. I was just like, oh my God, they eliminated an entire section of this film. And then what we ended up getting for the rest of the, 90-minute running time, I was just like, how can this be moving so slow? You already killed an act. How slow was this movie?
To answer your question, Mike, how could this film be so boring and have cut out another act? Because just like On Deadly Ground, which cut out 40 minutes of Steven Seagal's tirade about environmental awareness, this movie cares not for entertainment, but only stroking the ego of one Mr. Seagal.
How dare you? No, I'm joking.
I mean, look, here's the thing that we talked about on the last episode. It's going to come up again on this episode. Steven Seagal has an inferiority complex, or little man syndrome for a man of his size, and I don't get it, because he is untalented, to say the least. He has zero self-awareness when it comes to lack of charisma. I mean, because I mentioned it on the last podcast, I'll mention it again here. He is a void of charisma. When he's on screen, everyone else's ability to do anything interesting in the scene is completely overshadowed by this dark mass that is Steven Seagal. I will say, though, in this film, compared to the last one, Steven Seagal actually has some, not funny one-liners, but they show that he can kind of do the one-liner action star thing, even if they feel totally forced, which in this film, they totally do.
Yes, I have to comment, Mike, I'm so glad you brought up that amazing intro, because it is utterly bizarre, because you have like a tiny little opening montage of like old timey pictures, including a very charming one of like this old prospector looking man with a banjo and a kitty cat, and that cat looks so happy. It makes me, I have to say, I smiled. I was like, that obviously that man loved that animal. That's charming. Then you get these weird flashbacks that I can only compare to like, remember when music videos in the 80s tried to kind of do that sort of thing? Like Richard Marx, well, I guess that was early 90s, but like Richard Marx with Hazard, where you'd have like these weird interstitial bits in the music video where there's like little bits of dialogue, or Glenn
it's
Fry's,
like
Glenn Fry's
Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar?
Yes, or, you know, like Smuggler's Blues.
Oh, good Lord.
The 80s were horrible. Nobody have nostalgia for that decade, please. There were good things. Actually, I like Pat Benatar, but Glenn Fry's terrible. But it almost reminded me of that. And then, yeah, I was like you. I love Richard. Is it Masur? I always say Masur.
I don't know. I always go with Mazer like laser, but...
Laser. Ooh, I like that.
John Deal getting no love here? What's up with that? He just wanted to go fishing with Steven Seagal.
That's the movie I wanted to see.
Fishing with Steven. That should have been IFC's like follow up to Fishing with what was that show? Fishing with John Lurie.
Yeah.
Fishing with Seagal.
I mean, I've been a fan of John Deal since his appearance in the Moonbeam video film Remote from 1993. So
that's a deep cut.
That is a deep. Directed by Ted Nicolau of all people.
I bow down to thee for that deep cut, and I love Ted Nicolau, but I didn't even know about that movie.
You should check it out. It is it's essentially Home Alone, but instead of traps, the kid has like remote controlled cars that he uses. So
oh god, I'm good. I don't think I can do this.
Including like a Australian or Austrian yodeling puppet. So
no, okay, no, I don't think I can.
I mean, is anything worse than this?
Well, yes, that vampire movie. Trust me, you will get a new appreciation for Fire Down Below. Because like this film, there are like some, like the supporting actors are great. The cinematography I actually thought was really, really good, and it made great use of like the Kentucky like rural setting. Now with Steven Seagal's inferiority complex, I have to say it gave me many a chuckle. Like there's moments where like at one point, like, the local towns, they take it too kindly to his type, and these hoodlums put these rattlesnakes in his little hut. And the rattlesnakes like leap up to strike him. He does like a kung fu motion where he grabs them. Like
I was so reminded of Jean-Claude Van Damme in Hard Target when he takes care of a snake.
Yeah, he punches it, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Seagal, right? So in this film, like in the last film, there's some bizarre thing about him being an environmental agent who wields a gun and can kill people, apparently. Sure, why not?
That's what the EPA does.
Yeah, right. Protect the environment by putting people 6 feet under.
That's right.
I'm going to protect the environment by burying you in
any means necessary. I'm going to make you compost.
Yeah, it's so weird because, again, it's very similar to On Deadly Ground. He's an environmental agent that goes to, like we've mentioned, this backwater Kentucky village, town, what have you, assembly of things. It feels like a set. And he's trying to figure out who's dumping toxic waste in the mines. And that's the whole movie. I mean, it, like you mentioned, Mike, it moves at a molasses pace. It is shockingly slow for a film that, like you've already mentioned, clearly cut out an actual intro where one of the supporting characters gets murdered. That kind of sets all of this in motion.
Well, and you also have, like, the introduction of Mark Helgenberger's character, Sarah, who we first see at a church, and, we get it established that she's, like, she's the people don't talk to her. Like she's this outcast. Also, that church has an awesome spread. I was raised among many different types of Southern fundamentalist religions, and we never got that kind of spread after service. I was very jealous. We just got left with hellfire and killed. We did not get any mashed potatoes. It's bullshit. But it's fancy because Mark Helgenberger is such a good actress. Yes. And seeing her with Seagal, like, I wanted to give her an Oscar. Because it's almost like when you see a wrestler who's, like, has incredibly limited mobility, and they have to have somebody who's, like, on the level of, like, Bret Hart to make them look good.
So you're saying any match with The Undertaker in the last, like, 10 years?
No, sir. We don't speak ill of The Undertaker.
Sorry.
Okay, no. If you want to say Hulk Hogan at any point...
I would rather never bring up Hulk Hogan for the rest of my life.
Right. Or as my friend Margot calls him Herc Hergen, because it's funny. But the fascinating thing is, like, this... One thing I thought was curious is, like, it's almost like the whole angle with her and her backstory feels like it should be in a film that's not a Steven Seagal film. Uh-huh. Because basically you find out that, she was accused of murdering her father when she was a young girl. And then you get the introduction of her, speaking of wrestling, okay, the actor that plays her brother, her big brother Earl, he looked like fucking Vince McMahon to me.
Steve Lang?
Steve Lang,
In this movie, he's got McMahon energy, which he's a villain, so it's perfect. But basically you find it like he's molesting her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, like, really, you're like, damn, that's dark. But then, like, but Steven Seagal's like a Kenny in a Gamera movie, because he just knows all automatically. Is like, she doesn't look too comfortable when you're around. You were molesting her.
I mean, he just gets it.
Oh, yeah.
Steven Seagal just gets it.
I'm like,
he's so in tune with the environment from his EPA job that he can just, like, figure anything out.
Yeah. Did anyone read Seagal's quote regarding Marg Helgenberger?
No.
Oh, is it that insulting one where he basically threw shade at her?
Yeah, so he is quoted as saying, "While I don't think she's a physical, spectacular, drop-dead gorgeous woman, at the same time, she's a spectacular actress. Her performance was wonderful." What is your fucking problem?
Wow.
Yeah, he might as well said, yeah, I know she looks like Marty Feldman in a wig, but she's a real good actress. That's what he said. And for the record, Mark Helgenberger's fucking gorgeous. If that, like, but even if she, God, what a pig. Like, he's such a pig. Like,
he doesn't like the way she eats a carrot, Heather. Come on.
Yeah, she...
Only Steven Seagal can munch on Belarusian carrots, okay?
I think Steven Seagal strikes me as the kind of man that he saw Deep Throat as a kid, and he still to this day thinks a woman's clitoris is in her throat.
Quick, let's get Steven Seagal on the phone. Mr. Seagal, you...
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondersight comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wonderside's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wonderside.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and I, we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Deaf Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
Know the location of the clitoris.
He would probably say...
Just snorting on the other end of the
It's
line.
in her throat! There it is, that little bugger.
With Seagal, there's this real bizarre disconnect. Because, Mike, we just talked about Commando not too long ago.
Yeah.
There is this disconnect with Seagal's inability to be charismatic that I don't understand how he doesn't get that he's not charismatic.
Right. I mean, you can play the man with no name, don't talk very much, just kind of walk into a situation. And I think that's what Seagal thinks he's doing. But, I mean, for all of his faults, love him or hate him, Clint Eastwood can read a room and can do that. He can come in and just be a badass. Whereas Seagal, you're just like, who is this Joker? And then when he slap fights the way that he does, I'm just like, get out of here. What are you trying to do?
Well, he's doing Aikido. But the problem with Aikido is Aikido does not translate very well to the screen because it's a martial art that's based on you using the other person's motion against them. And it's a defensive martial art technique. And who wants to see that on screen in an action film? that's so uninteresting in every form or fashion that it's like, Seagal, we get that you're, Mr. Peaceful, but you're also murdering people.
Right. Yeah.
Can we talk about, speaking of his ego, when he, I think maybe the most amazing scene in the film where they're having like the town social like dance, and this town, for being this little rural hub, got Marty Stewart, who, like, I mean, I don't know if any listeners, if you're not familiar with the world of country, or bluegrass especially, might not mean anything to you, but Marty Stewart is, like, in that world considered one of the best guitarists. Like, he's absolutely one of the most respected bluegrass guitarists on the planet. And at one point he was married to Roseanne Cash, so a little trivia. Steven Seagal thinks he could get on stage with Marty Stewart and play guitar.
Oh, God.
Well, and he does.
And he does. And you're like, and I'm like, what? Like, this is... I mean, not since Michael J. Fox and Back to the Future, where it's like, no, just no.
He so reminds me of Adam Sandler, because it's like when Adam Sandler is in a movie, he always has to be like, oh, well, he's a golfer, he's the best golfer. He is a singer, he's the best singer. He's the this, he's the best that. And here we have Seagal, like, he can do everything. He can fly a plane, he can play guitar, he can charm snakes. It's like everything he wants to do, he can do it and go toe-to-toe with whoever is on stage. I'm surprised that at the end, Travis Tritt wasn't like, oh, come on up, Steven.
Well, and the only thing that Steven Seagal can't do is love.
Oh.
I mean, I did not for 1 second believe the chemistry between him and Mark Helgenberg.
No.
Like, there's like a kiss at the end of the film that they like quickly cut away from because they like fade out, and they fade out to Harry Dean Stanton dancing around on the deck of his house, which, okay, that's the way you want to end this movie. Be my guest. But
all movies should end like that.
Right, exactly. But they embrace at the end, as the two protagonists of the film would, and they don't cut in for a close shot of them kissing or anything. It's shown from behind, Steven Seagal mashing his face into Mark Helgenberger's face, and then it starts fading out, thankfully, letting the audience have a reprieve from seeing whatever the hell that would be. But yeah, I don't believe that anyone in any of these films that I've seen with Seagal could have chemistry with him, because he doesn't even know how to act like a normal human being. I mean, I genuinely can't imagine being Seagal and having no self-awareness to know that, like, just poke fun at yourself and everyone would be on board.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was bizarre, because it's, especially because you're kind of led to think, like, they clearly in the film want you to think, like, oh, wow, like, this great, amazing guy has, he's interested in this little, outcast farm girl. But a viewer with sanity's like, she could do better. Like, she could do better than this town. She could do better than him. And, it's weird. Also, can we talk about how, like, it doesn't matter what movie he's in, he always has to dress the same? He always dresses like Steven Seagal. Like, because I know midway, like, his cover's up and everybody knows he's an agent, but there's parts in the film where he's undercover and his whole guise is he's helping out the local preacher, played by Levon Helm, and by just being a good Samaritan and helping people out around, fixing their porches and their roofs or whatever. I love that he was able to fix a roof in, like, 2 minutes, by the way. But,
well, he's like Mike said, he's the best at everything.
He's the best at everything. But he's still dressing like Steven Seagal. Like that's not going to make you stand out. Like, what kind of undercover agent are you with your greasy ponytail and your Italian leather jacket? I don't know if it's Italian, but I'm guessing.
It's Nehru. It is the Nehru of Nehru jackets.
He wears Nehru everything. And it's like, it's him sitting next to, like, these very, like, rural looking bubbas. It was weird.
Yeah. I mean, he already has this whole fish out of water thing when he's coming to town, but it's like, you could have tuned it down just a little bit and maybe put on some jeans or something and tried to fit in a little bit better. But you're right. He can never wear different clothes. It's just like he always has to look like he's on his way to an ashram or something.
Do you think, theoretically, that this was part of Seagal's contracts? That he had to dress the way he wanted?
Oh,
because
yeah.
every movie I've seen him in, aside from the first 4, which, again, like we mentioned last episode, those are the best movies he's in, he looks like a fucking clown. He looks like the guy who is the secret agent, the undercover EPA agent, the whatever, what have you. It's like, you look like you don't belong here.
Yeah, especially in this film now. I think it's super heightened because they actually went out of their way to, which I think is a strong suit of the film, to go to an actual southern state and utilize that. Some of the extras look like locals. I don't know if they were, but it does have a little bit of a flavor. Though I will call some shenanigans over the little family with a little girl named Alberta. Huh. I have never met Alberta.
Well, I mean, because you haven't lived in a Steven Seagal film.
Yeah. I haven't lived in Kentucky in a Steven Seagal film.
They were Canadian immigrants running away from that horrible medical system they have up there.
Oh, yes. Heaven forbid they have it for everyone.
I was surprised the little boy's name wasn't Ronaldo. This is our son, Ronaldo? Like, what?
This is Winnipeg.
Wow. Oh, my God.
We call her Winnie.
Yeah, we call her Winnie. She's the smart one of the bunch.
Did you know that this is the only feature film that this director has ever done? He's only ever done TV movies and TV episodes. It's just so strange that of all the things that he's done, and he's still working, and it seems like he's pretty successful. I mean, he's actually just did an episode of Charmed, and I've actually talked about him before because he did one of the 2 worst versions of The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. He did the TV movie version of it in 1998, but this is the only time he's ever directed a film. And do you think that was Seagal just like, get me somebody I can control? Is this like his Richard Marquand?
That's the hard time that I've had with these movies, is trying to figure out, because we've heard all these stories about Seagal being such an on-set diva, why anyone would willingly work with him unless they're, like you mentioned, Mike, a complete pushover.
Right. Or thinking maybe this will be their big break.
Boy. Oh, God. Can you imagine that? I'm in the big time now. I've got a Steven Seagal directed movie. I mean, to be fair, mutual friend of ours, Rich Haddam, who co-wrote Under Siege 2, you'll be hearing from him here in a couple episodes. Steven Seagal did kind of make Rich's career. So
right.
There is that. But yeah, no, in regards to directing, like, it must be just either a director who can say, fuck you, I'm not putting up with your shit, or like you said, someone who just completely...
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output, and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24-related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Completely bends.
Right. I mean, there are a lot of good directors in his early career. I mean, I really like Andrew Davis a lot. I'm trying to remember who it was that directed some of those early films, but he had good directors and good writers working with him, and then I guess maybe he just burned all those bridges.
Well, and the other thing about those early movies is they're much smaller scale films. I mean, Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Marked for Death, Out for Justice, all 4 titles that sound identical almost, with identical characters in each film. They're all such small scale films that Seagal's way of acting and doing things makes sense, because those movies, for all intents and purposes, are kind of just Dirty Harry ripoffs. And that's kind of why they work, because like you mentioned, Mike, Steven Seagal's trying to do that De Niro, Eastwood, I'm going to talk really low and really slow. It's like, that works, but if you know how to do it. But this bombastic big action star, Schwarzenegger, Stallone vehicle with that guy just doesn't work.
Well, especially when he's playing a character like Jack Taggart here in Fire Down Below, because did you guys feel like there were moments in the film where he was a little creepy?
Oh, yeah.
It's like when he gets to this new town, and he goes to the little mercantile store, and there's like these two twins that are Loretta Lynn's real life twin daughters. So thought that was cool. A lot of musician ties.
Oh, yeah.
But he makes some like comment about like them being twins, and it's totally kind of like it is not appropriate. And I'm like, sir, you don't know these women. Yeah, this is.
I'm gonna keep you both in my memory. Like, what the hell, dude?
Gross,
get out of here.
Well, and then even when he's trying to be intimidated to the bad guys, he actually, I wrote this down because this impressed me so much. He's like, I'm going to give you a new meaning to the word violation.
Oh my God. Or what did he say? And then he follows up that line with something like, you're going to need a proctologist or something. Or you're going to need to ice your asshole or some shit.
Yeah. He obviously has never proceeded past Freud's anals.
Look, wouldn't it be more intimidating if he was just like, look here, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass. Like, okay, like, get to the point.
Right.
Got it.
Well, and he's threatening Kris Kristofferson with that. He's like, oh, my pal Bubba in the jail is going to take care of you.
No, not Bubba. Tyrone.
Tyrone, yeah. He has to even make it sound even more African-American.
My boy Tyrone's going to fuck you. He's going to rape you in prison. Thanks, Steven Seagal. Real great.
Prison rape's funny. Aww.
It's pretty fun.
Except it's totally not funny.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's about as funny as Steven Seagal's comedic timing, which is not funny at all.
Well, he clearly, after Roadhouse, after we got to the line of Roadhouse where I used to fuck guys like you in prison, you just stop it, movies. No movie after Roadhouse can top that prison sex line. Especially because it implies consent. Right. I like that.
It's not about one man raping another man without his consent.
He's talking about his prison lovers. And they all must have been very handsome if they look like Patrick Swayze.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, though, with Kris Kristofferson, he doesn't threaten he's going to be raped. He threatens that he's going to be that man's prison wife.
Yeah.
So, he's going to be cuddled.
Yes. Vociferously.
That's... And plus, like, his decision-making, like, because, it's like he's supernaturally good at some things, but then, like, there's this early altercation where he's getting samples of the water and testing them, and this little boy's peeing, and Seagal sees the kid and chases him and ends up on, like, this pot grower land, and the guys were all like, we gonna beat you up, huh? Like, the very stock characters, and, he beats them all up. But then he hands his gun over to the kid, and he's like, keep an eye on him, and walks off. I'm like, thank you for giving your Glock to a 9-year-old or whatever.
Right. Local child murders himself by accident. Local child kills himself because idiot EPA agent gave him a loaded gun.
Yeah.
What did he think was going to happen once he left? The guys weren't just going to grab the gun from the kid? Like, oh my God. I want to talk about the best scene in the movie, though, which is the gas station scene, which is just c'est magnifique. This is what we've become. This is what we've become on this podcast, talking about Randy Travis being shot through a wall magically by Steven Seagal.
I was actually glad that Randy Travis ended up being evil, because I feel like he has a very untrustworthy presence. I'm not saying that's a reflection of him as a human. I don't know the man. He could be lovely, but... there's always something. Even when I was a kid and he was real popular and I knew a lot of people that listened to country music, I was always like, I don't trust him. I don't know. So that worked. But, that whole part of the plot really, it's where things really start getting like, so he's put Mark Helgenberger in witness protection because things are getting hot and she's going to testify. And so they go through also thing where, the agents are in on it and they almost get killed. Only for him to take her back to her house? He's like, oh, you'll be safe here. Well, then what was the whole point of what we just saw?
Right.
If she's going to be safe at the... And I'm not one of those people that nitpick. I hate cinema sins. I hate all that shit. But, come on. Like, that... that was a bit... to quote, it's a bit much.
Well, and then you've got that, like, great fake out where the guy is standing in the gasoline and Seagal throws a flare to him.
Jeez, yeah.
And then he's like, I'm gonna shoot it, and then I'm gonna shoot it again, and then, okay, I'm not. Remind me, because I literally can't remember. Does he kill that guy or not?
No. He tells the guy, tell your boss I'm coming. And the guy's like, oh, everything's all right. And then he goes, on second thought, I'll tell him myself. And then, he shoots the flare. And so you think he's going to kill the guy, but then he shoots the flare a second time and puts the wick out. I mean, talk about an amazing shot. Again, best shot ever is Steven Seagal. And then I think eventually he kills that guy, but not in that scene.
Yeah, it's just so fucking weird. It's like, it is the antithesis of an action scene for any other action star. I mean, if it was Arnold, it'd be like, come on, come get me. And then he beats the shit out of him and kills him.
Right.
Like stuffs a flare down his throat, or, I don't know, sticks a flare in the guy's mouth and pushes him into the gasoline. Something absurd because it's Arnold. But in this movie, it's like, I'm going to shoot you. Okay, just kidding. No, I'm not. Okay, yeah, I am. No, just kidding. And it's so reminiscent of the scene from On Deadly Ground, the famous scene from that movie, the bar scene, where
I'm going to get on my knees thing.
Wait, what?
There's one where he gets on his knees and fights the guy.
Okay, that's not On Deadly Ground. On Deadly Ground is the thing where he's calling him Cupcake, and they get into a slap fight, and they do like the hand slap, and then you think he's gonna beat the shit out of the guy, and he's like, I just need time, man, time to change, and that's like, okay, the end of the scene, and it's like, what the fuck is this movie even doing? Like, you have an action star who, look, I know that people will say action movies glorify violence, yada yada, but they're escapism, and it just strikes me as odd when you have an action star who doesn't beat people up. Like, what's even the point of this being an action movie?
Well, especially when, Steven Seagal's whole, claim to fame, how he initially got well-known was his martial arts background. It's kind of like, when you see a Chuck Norris movie, you're going to see, the action is going to be largely him whooping some dude, or many dudes, and that works, because it's like, that's his background. So it's like, there should have been more fight scenes in this, because just gun, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of gun fights unless it's like John Woo. If it's like somebody who knows how to direct those in a way where it's like a ballet and it's amazing, or, but it's not in this film. No, it's not gonna work in this movie. But I'd be remiss if we did not, we have to talk about how on the nose some of the songs are with their lyrics in this movie. Did you guys notice that how beautifully just like after the snake scene, the song, they cut to the next day and the song literally has a line about, let me see, I saw a big old cotton bough.
Yes, that's right.
I was like, you got, and then the whole, I think the whole, the actual song's like, there's a snake in the grass, and it's like, get it? Because there's snakes. There's little snakes. Do you get it?
He had some of the best country artists, in the world in this film, and it is the worst soundtrack.
I know, how do you do that? You have Marty Stewart. You've got, I'm not a big Travis Tritt fan, but his shit's better than what we get in this. Leave on Hell.
Fucking Kris Kristofferson.
Kris Kristofferson, yes.
But he's actually pretty good in this movie, right?
Well, because he's barely in it, and he's not acting against Seagal until, the very last scene. For the most part, he just humiliates his son through the entire thing.
Yeah, he's not acting with Seagal until Seagal threatens to turn him into someone's prison wife.
Right.
Great. Awesome. Thanks. Holy shit.
That's another element where I think one of the many where this film kind of fails is that, to me, when I think about all the action films I love, you have, the bad guy and the hero are on equal footing.
Oh, yeah.
And so it makes the build-up exciting, even in films that are very flawed, when they have a really good villain, that can work, Nine Deaths of the Ninja, which is a totally beautifully ridiculous movie, but the villain is so fucking over the top that it's just it's Blackie Dammit. I love Blackie Dammit, but and the sad thing is Kris Kristofferson is a good actor and he's perfectly fine here, but it's just the build-up's just kind of weak, and it's Seagal is so supernaturally strong too that there's no stakes,
right?
You don't. There's no, oh God, what if he doesn't? What if they, and that's, you also need that in a film. And it's just it's very milquetoast. I mean, I don't know.
Well, what's funny is it's very similar to On Deadly Ground, where it's Seagal opposite Michael Caine, who, again, like you just mentioned, Heather, Kris Kristofferson is no physical threat to Steven Seagal.
Right.
At least the character in the movie. I mean, in real life, I'm not sure Steven Seagal could eat enough carrots to fight Kris Kristofferson, but it's just the same thing, where in On Deadly Ground, you have this bizarre finale featuring the villain, and it feels completely unearned, and it feels like the villains are afterthoughts when it comes to Seagal. And in this movie, it's the same thing. Like you mentioned, Mike, he's the best at everything, so how could anyone do anything to him?
Right.
Yeah. Well, and the thing, too, like, it's like, because I was thinking of, like, what was that Brian Bosworth movie?
Stone Cold?
Stone Cold, yes. And think about that movie, and Bosworth, obviously, he's not an actor. Right? Like, that's fair to say. But you have, like, Lance Henriksen as the main bad guy. And Lance Henriksen is a guy that physically is not a big dude, but his presence alone, you're like, I'm not going to mess with him.
Oh, yeah. You would never want to mess with Lance Henriksen. Never.
No. And it's like, and I hate this because I loathe to say anything that might even sound negative about Kris Kristofferson, because he's fine. He's great. But his character and his presence don't have that kind of gravitas. But is that some of that due to the writing? Yeah. Like, it's just like, he might as well be, like, just played by any generic sort of Lifetime movie of the week yuppie bad guy. Mm-hmm. That's his role. Like, he's
Tony
not really...
Goldwyn could play that role.
Yeah. Oh, man. Or I don't know, let's... we could have David Allen Coe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's recast this movie with even more country western singers.
Yes.
Instead of Kris Kristofferson, let's just have Johnny Cash in the lead role. Sure, what does it matter?
Man, he almost had Columbo at one point, so almost fooled the lieutenant. So I wouldn't go up against him. But again, another great actor, country star. Where's Lyle Lovett?
I was wondering the same thing. Well, he's with Julia Roberts, right? Or are they divorced at this point?
Could be.
I mean, it's all about the hair with Lyle Lovett, man.
Fuck yeah.
That hair, man, got some verticality on that bad boy.
I was so happy for him when he got out of her clutches.
Yeah.
I just picture her with her mates, like a praying mantis, just her sinking in her little claws in their chest and trying to eat his soul. Julia Roberts is the devil.
Yeah.
She's so good in Pretty Woman, though.
I hate that movie.
So do I.
That movie and Night Moves can go off to the lake of shit for all I care.
I will say, what's funny is you could have had any other person in this movie who was playing a villain play the main villain, and I still think it would have been as ineffectual a villain lineup as we got with the film with Kris Kristofferson as the lead villain.
Well, it doesn't help that his son, Junior, I mean, maybe you guys know who Brad Hunt is, but I was just like, nope, not doing it for me. He just seemed like generic young man in this. He didn't seem like he was any sort of actor.
Well, you're going to turn state's evidence against your father. Okay, well, bye.
Right. I mean, give me fucking Chris Penn in a role like that. I'd believe Chris Penn if he wasn't dead at this point.
Oh, God, I always forget he's dead, and then I remember it, and it makes me sad. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he was great in Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, he was fantastic in Corky Romano.
Oh, man, Mike, you just one-upped my bullshit big time.
God, I'm depressed because
I love that.
Wait, which one? Corky Romano?
Corky Romano is fucking fantastic.
Well, it's because you're a fan of Peter Falk. I get it. I get it.
Well, also, Chris Kattan dressed up as a Girl Scout is hilarious.
Yes.
I don't know why that makes me laugh, but it did every single time.
Now I have to watch Corky Romano thanks to you. So,
oh, it is so good.
I remember liking it a long time ago, but I was also like 9 or 10. So, yeah.
Yeah, the relationship between Peter Berg and Chris Penn is fucking fantastic.
And again, this comes back to Seagal and just this mind-numbing lack of substance in the movie. I'm going to ask y'all this question that I asked last week. Do you think if any other, quote, action star of the 80s or 90s had been cast in this film, they could have salvaged it? Or does the root cause of the problem lie with the script?
That's a good question.
I think that, it's... Having read the old draft of the script, I was like, this is a perfectly actionable script. I don't know why they went away from what they went away from. The 89 version. It's like, okay, this is a good action film. And yeah, I think you could have cast a Dolph Lundgren, a Jean-Claude Van Damme, pretty much any, even like a Jeff Speakman, somebody else in this, they could have handled it. But I think Seagal just brought so much of his Seagalness to it that it just kind of, shit the bed.
Yeah, I would have to agree because that's the thing. Because I've been thinking about this too, and I was actually thinking about even bringing this up during this recording. Is like stacking Seagal next to the other kind of big action stars of the 80s and 90s, and what is the factor? What is the X factor he's missing compared to, like, say, Chuck Norris and Van Damme and, like Charles Bronson and guys like that. And it's like, what's charisma?
I think it's all charisma. Like, I think for me, most of it is charisma.
Yeah, because even Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris was never in danger of winning any Oscars or anything, and that's okay because he fit a niche, but. He's likable enough to where, you can, I enjoy a lot of his films. There's some of them are completely ridiculous and I love him for it, and one of them has Clu Gulager eating a sandwich. So Steven Seagal doesn't have that in his catalog, so.
No, but Steven Seagal did break Sean Connery's wrist on the set of Never Say Never Again. So, he's got that going for him, which is nice.
Wow. What was Connery's quote about hitting women? Was it
just a schmack?
Yeah, I imagine those two got along just well.
I'm sure.
Other than
Considering
that,
how Steven Seagal has been under investigation for raping women in real life multiple times, I'm sure he has a huge following in that. I mean, look, Steven Seagal is a big fan of and friend of Vladimir Putin, so.
I have such a question about Steven Seagal, and I don't know if this is the appropriate time for it or not, but it might be.
Here we go.
Because I'm looking at his Wikipedia, and it goes through, because he's been married 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. I think he's, this is
one
his
more
fourth
time,
wife.
and that's Mambo number 5, dude.
Yeah. Well, because it says, he married Mikiyako Fujitani, 1975, divorced 1986. But then the next one really confuses me, because it says he married Adrienne LaRussa, 1984, which would have been 2 years before he divorced Mikiyako Fujitani. So was he a polygamist for 2 years?
I don't know, was I? Would that be surprising at this point? I mean, that's the weird thing, like you've already mentioned about Seagal. Unlike, say, Arnold or Stallone or even JCVD or Dolph Lundgren, Dr. Lundgren.
Yes.
He seems like this guy who has completely gone off the rails in his personal life. Like, the actor Steven Seagal and the persona on screen and the person that he is are the same. There is no, there's, I'm sure with Arnold, there's Arnold at home, and then there's actor Arnold.
Right.
With Seagal, I think it's Seagal. I am Seagal all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, of all those guys that you just listed, Dolph Lundgren seems like the most grounded person to me. And it just feels like he knows who he is, what he wants to do, and just he is super no bullshit to me. JCVD, I think he was buying his own hype for a long time, but I think he finally maybe got over it. But yeah, I think Arnold has always known this is how I need to get to the next step, and this is exactly what I want to do. I mean, he was talking about being governor of California when he was on the set of Conan. He had this major plan for his entire life of what he wanted to do. And yeah, I think you're 100% correct that there is what we see of Arnold, and then there's the real guy. And he knows that, and he's able to separate that. But yeah, Seagal is always Seagal.
I feel like, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I also feel like Seagal would be a fucking drag to hang out with.
Oh, yeah.
There is no way in hell I'd want to be in a room with him. Unless of course, he's performing one of his rap reggae tracks off of his solo album. No. I mean, and that's the thing, too, is that, all the other guys whether, like, some of them are better actors than others, but all of them have, like, an it factor. And that make them compelling to look at. And compelling. And, you know, and Steven Seagal to me is just, he's barely compelling. He's so wooden. Like, he doesn't really radiate anything other than, like, just kind of like an oily, vaguely oiliness, but not even like in a fun way, not even in a compelling way. It's just like, he's like that guy you see at a club and you're like, who's this joker? Like, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, I like his earlier action films, like, they're good, but I mean, I think anything that's a film that is really good with him in it it's almost probably really great in spite of him than because of him.
Right.
Is that fair to say? Is that too mean, or? I
mean, I think he kind of deserves it by the way he treats everybody else. You know, I mean, there's the famous story that John Leguizamo tells about Seagal on the set of Executive Decision, a movie where Seagal's character dies in the first half hour, where apparently Seagal was so angry with the way that they were going to kill off his character, he locked himself in his trailer. It's like, dude, like, you don't ingratiate yourself to your co-stars by acting like a prima donna. And I guarantee you he still acts that way today, which is hilarious because who cares about Steven Seagal anymore?
Well, and also, I didn't realize, like, until today, like, yeah, he's almost 70.
Yeah, he's an old guy. Like, he's getting up there, and he's still making movies. He had a film come out this year, I believe.
That's great.
Albeit to Redbox only, but, you know, yeah, take what you can get. Someone's still paying him, probably. Who's even paying for his movies at this point? That's the real question.
Right. Is this like what you get the father that you don't like for Father's Day?
Steven Seagal direct-to-DVD films.
The Deadbeat Dad collection.
Right.
You're like, the father that left you because he went out to get a pack of smokes and didn't come back for 20 years.
I mean, you find it at the truck stop and you're just like, oh shit, I gotta get my old man something. Here, I'll pick up this Seagal flick.
I'll pick up Sniper, Special Ops, or Born to Raise Hell. Like, oh dear, dearie dear.
Because
the only times that I've seen him with, like, self-awareness is when he was in Machete, and that's it.
Right. I will stand by those early films. I will still go back and watch those, like, especially Under Siege, the first one. I really like Under Siege, but that is so much because of Gary Busey and Tommy Lee Jones. But even then, I mean, there are those times where I don't know if Seagal is aware of how ridiculous things are. Like when he starts talking about how we're all just pawns in a madman's chess game or whatever. I'm just like, wow, this is fucking amazing. Sign me up for more of this. But after that, I mean, that's about it for me. I've really never gotten into any post Under Siege 1 films of his. And maybe there are some gems out there. I don't know of anybody who has had the courage to go through all the direct-to-video things. I mean, maybe The Glimmerman's really good. I hear that he plays like a Jewish rabbi in it.
Glimmerman!
Isn't that what it's called? The Glimmerman?
John Q. Glimmerman.
John Glimmerman.
It's me, John Glimmerman.
But, I mean, if there are great movies out there, hey, let me know, you know, but I couldn't make it through Exit Wounds. I've tried to watch some of these other things, Ticker, those kind of things, and can't do it.
You and I both know, all three of us know, that those movies are fucking garbage. And there is no way that you could convince me otherwise. And you know why? Because once you go straight to DVD, you don't come back from that. You're in straight to DVD territory for a reason. I mean, look at someone like Armand Asante. He's been doing straight-to-DVD films since essentially Judge Dredd. And look, like, there's nothing wrong with straight-to-DVD films. They exist for a reason. They're an outlet for actors who maybe aren't getting work, or it allows character actors to, you know, showcase their talents in ways they may not have a chance to. And I'm not saying all straight-to-DVD movies are bad, because in the day and age of VOD, that can't be the case. But Steven Seagal's straight-to-DVD movies aren't your typical VOD movies. They're like you said, Mike. They're the movies you find at the Love's gas station at 3 a.m. when you're stopping on the way home from whatever coast you were driving to.
Yeah, and as somebody who has braved to watch one of them, I can tell you, at least if they're all the quality of the one I saw, yeah, avoid. That was fucking awful. Like, and I went into it with low, absolutely bare minimum expectations. And basically was watching it almost as a dare, because I a friend of ours, it was his turn to pick a movie, and he loves action films, but he also loves torturing his loved ones with bad action films. In fact, his wife actually sent me a snarky email because I told him about Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave, which is still probably, arguably, maybe a better movie than this one. I know it's pretty bad though. And he bought it for like a penny off of Amazon. And she sends me a mail. She's like, yeah, thanks for letting Rand know about this. I've seen it 3 times now. Like that. Like she was kind of pissed at me. But yeah, no, just say no. And I mean, there are always going to be like great direct-to-video films, but I mean, yeah, it's like kind of look at the caliber of actors. Because think about it, even with the character, like there are great character actors who have done a lot of shitty movies. I mentioned Lance Henriksen, but at least if you watch a Lance Henriksen movie, you know that at least he will still be great in it because he's Lance Henriksen. The man is awesome. He could just be there, eating a sandwich, and he radiates cool and intensity. Steven Seagal is not Lance Henriksen. So it is what it is.
And it makes me laugh knowing that at one point in what is ostensibly like a 9-year period, Steven Seagal made essentially all of the movies he ever made that would ever matter. From 88 to 97. Oh. That's it. That's it. Those are the movies he made in that. And it's so strange to me because you look at someone like JCVD, you look at Lundgren, you look at Arnold, you look at all of them. And while they all have like, at least with, some of them, Arnold, I would say kind of is the exception that proves the rule. They all kind of have that same span, but that span is better than this span of films for Seagal because even this span of 9 years, there's only 4 movies, 5 if you count Under Siege, which I will agree, Under Siege is pretty good. Those movies are nowhere near as good as even like Arnold's worst movies. Period. It's just shocking. It's so weird, and I don't know why anyone considers him like an action star, because it feels more like a fluke than anything else.
Wait, are you including Junior on that list? Or?
I immediately went to The Sixth Day myself.
Okay, The Sixth Day is not bad, right?
It's pretty bad.
But again, how bad is a bad Arnold movie? Would you rather watch this or The Sixth Day?
Oh, The Sixth Day.
That's there. I mean, you see, my point is like even a bad Arnold movie, it still has Arnold in. Like even in the movie that we did for the 200th episode, End of Days, like even though that movie is abjectly terrible, it still has some hilarious Arnold one-liners in it.
Mm-hmm.
It still has Arnold fighting the devil. Like, what does this movie have? Steven Seagal fighting Kris Kristofferson? Okay.
But do they have Randy Travis playing the devil? Because
that's great, Gabriel Byrne, but Six doesn't have
Gabriel.
The other.
I love him.
Oh, and it's got Rod Steiger. It's another world out there.
Oh my god. Oh, good lord. End of guess. Oh god. Everybody remembers Terminator and Total Recall, but everybody forgets End of Days or The Sixth Day or what's the other one? Almost said Minority Report. Collateral Damage.
Oh, for me it was Eraser.
Your luggage.
You've been erased.
The movie has James Caan in it too. Like what the fuck is going on?
Smashed by a train at the end. Spoilers.
I know.
Oh my god.
Spoilers for almost 30-year-old.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention. Speaking of Arnold, my husband has this dream of a movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger goes back in time and fights Countess Bathory, and his big tagline is "Bathory's not included."
Oh my god!
Oh wow!
I'm sorry. I always have to tell that because it's so funny.
Well, it's because it's fucking perfect.
And honestly, that would still be a hell of a lot better than I mean. And I hate it because I think the idea of an action film that has kind of an actual somewhat progressive agenda, because you think about it, especially in the 80s, action films were so conservative. They were so rooted in sort of, especially the Reagan era, of that conservatism, like political conservatism at LA. Imagine if we had an action film now where it's like somebody like Dave Bautista fighting like seeing those people like the Phelps family, like getting fist fights with them and fighting people that are saying COVID's a hoax. And but then he immediately goes to Wall Street. He goes to Wall Street and starts just beating the shit out of all the 1%ers. And like, how hot would that be?
I would watch a movie where Dave Bautista is murdering people who don't wear masks, and it's just called COVIDiots. See, here's the thing. I was talking about this with Jess earlier today, who apparently, Heather, you have met now.
Yes.
The best movie that you could make for Steven Seagal would be Steven Seagal is Max Cool in Cool Under Pressure. It sounds like every Steven Seagal movie that exists, and you know what? I'd go watch it, because who cares at this point? It's just, I'm glad that he's kind of taken a back seat and he's still doing his own thing off in Russia, whatever the fuck that means for him. But if you couldn't get to be in the Expendables, which apparently Steven Seagal, such a dick. Have you guys seen what he said about the Expendables?
No.
I don't like to work with funny people.
Oh, jeez.
You're such an asshole.
What? Ironically, that's the funniest thing he's ever said, because he's so clueless.
Yeah.
It's like,
they're not clamoring to bring you in. They don't want you part of those movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh. I don't work with funny people. It's okay. They don't work with untalented actors either, so.
Yeah, oh my God. What a charming individial.
Yeah, he must be the joy. He must be the talk of the town out there in Tajikistan, or where the fuck he lives now.
Oh my God. I too, like, I was thinking about that. Mike, you mentioned the wiki, his wiki article, and I was reading that earlier for research for this, and I kept thinking about every woman that was in a relationship with him, and just thinking, like, God, like, like, why would you, I'm not judging, because, everybody, love is a funny thing, and everybody's, sometimes you have to have some shitty relationships to get to the good ones, but, damn, I just cannot imagine being saddled to that. Like, it would just have to be so unfun.
But not only is he an actor, he's also a magician. Might be a magician, too. He took everybody's money and made it just disappear. He also is an author. The book that he wrote is, I kid you not, The Way of the Shadow Wolves. And it is the deep state and the hijacking of America.
Oh,
now,
shit, no.
We're going to close this podcast out with a trivia question for both of you, because this is the best part of this Steven Seagal saga that we're on. Do you know who wrote the foreword for his book?
Oh, God. I would immediately think G. Gordon Liddy, but I'm not sure.
Oh, my God. This cover is amazing. Oh, my God. I'm
Sheriff
sorry.
Joe Arpaio.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God. That piece of shit. Man, fuck that guy.
I mean, it's like, it just makes sense, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
This cover art reminds me of, like, when you see Christian romance books.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's real low quality. Like, oof.
And look, he's got, like, his gun. It's sticking out of his jacket, his cool fringe jacket, and his face is, like, just swollen from all the carrots and hot dogs he's been eating.
Why does he have this horrible, like, mustache? Like, why does he looks like a guy who'd be playing a drug dealer in a 70s cop show. He looks like
he looks like Steven Seagal's bloated corpse.
I think he came around and had to tell me that he lives in the area.
This man may have moved into your local area. Keep an eye out.
Yes. Oh, God. Chris Hansen has to ask him, what are you doing here again, Steven? Like,
yeah, and he's like, these cookies are really good. I love the lemonade.
Oh, God. I remember seeing an interview with Kelly LeBrock years ago, and she was not even talking about that. But I just kept looking at her thinking, this beautiful woman was married to him. She's married to this horrible ham hock with no personality, horrible politics, and is a misogynist.
Yeah, and don't forget, he's also a Michigander.
Oh, yeah. Lansing.
He's from Lansing, yep. Good Lord in heaven.
Man, that's... Yeah. I was hoping, like... Because you notice, like, when the church burning, real quick about the film, I guess Levon Helm's character died in it. It's implied, but it's never, like, settled.
Well, they say at the end that Kris Kristofferson is going to jail for murder.
Mm.
Yeah, but that
But
guy...
he shoots that guy, doesn't he? Like, in the casino? Doesn't he shoot a dude?
Well, double murder then.
Okay.
I just assumed, like, his character probably murdered a lot of people. Well, I thought the murder was for the agent. Like Steven Seagal's buddy that was going to go fishing with him.
The guys that we never actually see in the movie other than through flashback? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I know this is going to be a hot take, but I'm just saying I think there's a lot of flaws in this movie.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That is the hottest of takes. That's like going to burn up Twitter tomorrow.
It's okay. This movie was only nominated for 4 Razzies at the time, and the nomination it didn't win is the one that I wish it had, which was Worst Screen Couple. You might think it's for Seagal and Marg Helgenberger, but it's actually for Steven Seagal and his guitar.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. That's truth. That is some truth. I noticed, didn't it lose out a lot to The Postman?
Yeah, well,
The Postman is worse than this. That movie, I had to see that in a theater with my family.
Ooh.
Because The Postman's 3 hours long.
That movie, seriously, the only good thing I remember about that movie was Tom Petty. Just because I was so happy to see a friendly face after sitting there with my, oh God. I was like, Tom Petty, and then he leaves. Like, it's like a cameo. And I'm like, fuck this movie. And I like Tom Petty. But that's the thing, like, a Tom Petty cameo should not be the strongest suit in your film, oh, God, I hate that movie. Now, this is way better than The Postman, because at least it's short. It's a lot shorter, and Harry Dean Stanton dances.
Yeah, and that's how the movie ends. So there
rightfully
you go.
So.
So, is there anything else we want to talk about? Have we really talked about anything? Have we talked about anything?
That's very existential. Have we always been here? Have we never been here?
We've never left.
Are you waiting for Godot? Are you waiting for Seagal?
Wait,
there you go.
That needs to be written.
Keep waiting for him, man. He'll get there and look at you and be like, I want to meet prison wife. Whoa. Back up, Steven.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The guy in Roadhouse could take him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who that guy is, but he's better than Seagal.
So, Heather, what would you give the film out of 5?
I would give it, I'd give it 1 moonshine tub out of 5.
What? I thought it was gonna be 1 dancing Harry Dean Stanton.
I love him. Now, if we're rating it purely on the Stanton factor, I would give it 4 out of 5. But just watch Harry's parts. Fast forward to the rest of it.
What's his character's name? Cotton Harry.
I just reviewed him. I was just like, it's Jesus. He's blessing me with his presence, like in his golden glow, and he has to be next to this ham hock who's terrible.
Boy.
Oh God! You imagine if Steven Seagal and Hulk Hogan were in a film together. Would that create a black hole of suck?
That's the imminent the imminent heat death of the earth is Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, Steven Seagal, and Armand Asante play a trio of related brothers in not quadruplets. I guess it'd be trio. The next Ivan Reitman film.
Oh God! They'd be getting in fistfights over the terracotta colored Tanner. Sorry.
Wow.
Holy shit. Fucking just right for
I'm
the
sorry.
jugular.
Those guys, they make Lindsay Lohan look natural and demure with their tanning. Their bad tanning.
A 70-year-old man should look that tan. Come on.
No,
he hits up those beds all the time.
That's not even tan. It's like some Lowe's shade. Like, I go to a hardware store and I'm like, that's Hulk Hogan color.
What would you give the film out of 5, Mike?
Probably a 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this much. It's better than On Deadly Ground, and that's it.
I think On Deadly Ground was my last Seagal that I saw in the theater.
It's not good.
No, it's not good at all. I felt embarrassed for everyone in that film.
And that movie's got a great supporting cast, too. It's got Billy Bob Thornton, John McGinley, Michael Caine.
Arlie Ermey.
Yeah, Joan Chen. Everybody but Seagal, pretty much. So, yeah, Arlie Ermey. And it's got the same... The problem with Seagal now is that I'm slowly seeing this, and Vern's Seagology book points it out, too, is the supporting cast, it almost feels like they're there for the paycheck and they're having their time wasted.
Mm-hmm.
And look, you know what? That's fine, because you know what? You're still cashing a paycheck and you're still in a movie, but yeah, like Heather said, you have to be standing across from this just total clown. So, yeah, I would give it like a...
Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I did see Under Siege 2 in the theater, and that was my last... Well, wait. I saw Executive Decision. Does that count as a Seagal film?
I mean, I bet he thinks it doesn't count.
Can I say that I cheered when he died in that film?
And the worst part is he sacrifices himself.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets, like, the hero's death, too. You're not going to make it. No, but you will. And he just flies out of the airplane like, okay, bye. Yeah, that was so weird. So fucking weird.
Do you think there should be a movie where he plays a villain who dies in a giant vat of hot dogs frying?
No. It's a movie where he dies by falling into a giant thing of batter and then gets dipped like a corn dog.
Oh, God. Oh, that just made me queasy.
Where's the stick go?
It made me hungry.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, on that horrifying note, let's take a break and we'll play a preview for the next Nightmare Steven Seagal film.
Jamaican gangs known as posses are now dominating the American drug trade.
In Above the Law, he got tough.
Who's that?
John Hatcher, DEA.
In Hard to Kill, he got even.
It's not the time for you to walk out of me. I've had enough. He thinks he's retired.
He still looks functional to me.
Now, the man with the short fuse is marked for death.
I want you to meet my sister, goddess of fire.
Steven Seagal is John Hatcher.
He's dead. And he don't even know it.
A good cop.
Your family has been marked.
In a bad mood.
Said he'd kill us both.
I don't think he's gonna get the chance.
What are you planning to do?
I'm gonna take out the posse. One thought he was invincible. The other thought he could fly. They were both wrong. Who do you fear? Him or me? I'm gonna deliver you into the light.
Steven Seagal is marked for death.
It's my silent partner.
But this time, he's bringing out the big guns. Steven Seagal, marked for death.
Are you some kind of cop?
Nah, I'm just a concerned citizen.
That's right, on the next episode, we're actually going to be talking about one of Steven Seagal's, quote, good, unquote, films. We're going to be talking about 1990's Marked for Death, which I know, Mike, you are a big fan of.
Oh, yeah. He's dead, and you don't even know it.
Screwface, man.
I want you to meet my sister, goddess of fire.
It's such a gnarly movie. It is everything that these movies aren't. You know, fun and entertaining and brutal and over the top. And again, Steven Seagal playing essentially a guy who should have no dialogue, but he has a lot of it. Until then, where can people find you, Heather?
Well, you can find me on my website, mondoheather.com, and also read some of my articles over at diaboliquemagazine.com.
What about you, Mike? What's going on over at The Projection Booth? Not watching any Steven Seagal movies, I hope.
No, just, neck deep, as you know, Chris, in Cinema Nova month, so it's a little bit different. I am looking forward to having the two of you come back and talk about hot dogs and Steven Seagal and Glauberosha next week as we look at The Lion Has Seven Heads, which I think will be a little bit different of a film.
I don't know if we can bring up Seagal and corn dogs anymore. I think that this was like the culmination of that.
It might be. Might have to retire that bit.
We'll have to find a new one. And then we'll talk about it for 3 years, and then we'll do whatever those movies are. Oh, yeah. As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at casualty_Chris. That's where I talk about all the podcasts that I work on and or am a part of and or I guest on. So that's where you can find me. Kulturecast.com, patreon.com/Kulturecast. That's the website for the podcast and the Patreon. Big thanks, as always, to our Patreon supporters. Big thanks to Heather and Mike. We've put Steven Seagal's The Curse of the Hot Dog Man, or the Corn Dog Man, Steven Seagal, to bed. We can no longer talk about it. This is it. Oh, you totally know it's not going to be. But hey, you know what? We can dream, can't we? Oh, boy. And we'll catch you on the next episode.